Nervous system, part 2. Nervous system is divided into two parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. We said in the central nervous system we have the brain, the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system we have the nerves. The brain. So, the brain allows us to know about the surrounding world through our sensory organs. So the brain uses the sensory organs to help us know about the surrounding world. So the sensory organs are the eyes, the mouth, the ear, the nose, and the hand. All together they work sending messages and signs through the spinal cord to the brain. So again we have the eyes, the mouth, the ear, the nose, and the hand sending messages all the way to the brain. So the sensory organs, they collect information from the surrounding and send them back all to the brain. So sensory organs like the mouth, it gives us the sense of tasting. It can send a message when you eat something to your brain, and the brain will tell us what are we eating. So the ear uses the sense of hearing, can send messages to the brain, and we know that we are hearing, for example, the sound of a cat. The hand, the sense of touching, and the eyes, sense of sight, and the nose, sense of smelling, can also send signs to the brain for us to know if we're touching a teddy bear, if we're seeing a horse, or if we're smelling cake. So, sensory organs, and we're going to talk about the optic nerve, so the nerve concerning our sight. Okay, so this optic nerve sends signals of the image that we want to see to the cerebrum. So if I'm seeing this, the optic nerve of the eye is going to send signals of the image where? To the cerebrum. Then the cerebrum in turn, what does it do? It sends back a signal, and you know that you saw a person, you know that this is a person. Okay, why? Because this cerebrum told us that what we saw is a person. Another example, so when you hear a horn of a car, for example, now the auditory nerve, okay, now the nerve of the auditory, the nerve of the ear, it's going to send signals. So in the previous one, the nerve of the what? The nerve of the eye. Now the nerve of the ear, the auditory nerve, is going to send a signal to the cerebrum. So it's going to send a signal to the cerebrum. Then the cerebrum interprets the sound. So now you know that you're hearing, or what you heard was a horn of a car, for example, and not a dog barking. Okay? Now, if you want to kick a ball, so when you want to kick a ball, what's going to happen when you want to kick a ball? So this is usually when you kick a ball. But what happened when you are kicking the ball? So what happened is that the cerebrum sends a message to the spinal cord. So the cerebrum is going to send a message where? To the spinal cord. Then the nerves that send the message to every muscle involved in kicking the ball. So if I want to kick the ball, the message, is it going to the hand? No. The message is going down to the legs. Okay? Then you are ready to kick the ball. Cerebrum. So, it controls the voluntary actions. So when an action is produced with the involvement of thoughts, they are called voluntary actions. So it involves actions like walking, eating, jumping, and running. So voluntary actions are actions that you choose to do. Okay, you choose to run, you choose to eat, you choose to walk, you choose to jump. So voluntary actions are the actions that involve your thoughts, your actions. The cerebellum. So the cerebellum, it controls balancing and equilibrium of the body. So without the cerebellum, you cannot ride a bike, you cannot balance yourself. Okay, so you need a cerebellum to be able to balance yourself and to be able to ride a bicycle. Now, the brainstem. The brainstem controls involuntary actions like breathing, heart beating, and so on. So, actions which take place without consciousness or willingness of an individual are called involuntary actions. So these actions, you cannot control them. Like, can you control your heartbeat? Can you stop your heart from beating? No. Can you stop your stomach from digesting food? No. So these are called involuntary actions. They are actions that you cannot control. Can you stop yourself from breathing? No, you cannot. Okay, so these are involuntary actions. They are actions that take place without you, without any consciousness or willingness of you. Okay? Now, the spinal cord. The spinal cord controls the reflex actions. What do you mean by reflex actions? Whenever you see a thorn, directly what are you going to do? You're going to move your hand back. This is a reflex action. Okay, so reflex action is an automatic, something that you do automatically without thinking. Okay, so the reflex action is an automatic involuntary action. Okay, you directly, automatically, you're going to move your hand back. So reflex actions like what? Like if you are picking a flower, you touch a thorn of a flower by mistake, what are you going to do if you touch a thorn by mistake? You're directly going to move your hand back. This is a reflex action. Another reflex action is blinking. Blinking is a reflex action. Another reflex action, it's called the knee-jerk reflex. Okay, so as you can see in this, he's hitting him on his knee. What is the reflex action? Look at his leg. He's not doing this on purpose. He's not doing this voluntarily. This is happening involuntarily. This is an involuntary action. As you can see, he just hits a little bit and his legs moves up. This is the reflex. Now, functions of the peripheral nervous system. Remember we said the peripheral nervous system, they are the what? They are the nerves. So the nerves of the sensory organs transmit information from sensory organs to the central nervous system, and the nerves of the effector organs transmit orders of the central nervous system to the effector organs. What do you mean? So example. So if you saw a lion, so when you see a lion, you are using your sensory organs. Okay, so the sense of sight. So the nerves responsible for sight, they are going to send a message where? To the central nervous system. Then the central nervous system is going to do what? It's going directly to send a message. To send a message to the where? To the effector nerves, which is the what? Which is our legs. Then we're going to run far away to hide. So, in other words, the brain receives information from the sensory organs. So, if you saw a flower, directly this is going to send the information to the brain. Then the brain interprets the received information. The brain is going to tell us that what you saw was a flower. After that, the brain is going to send orders to the muscles of the effector organs. What is the effector organs over here? It's our hand. So it's going to send a message to our hand, and we're going to pick the flower and smell it. Thank you.